In the first scene of BoJack Horseman, BoJack states a mission statement for everything that this show is not.
You just want to watch a show about good, likable people who love each other. Where, no matter what happens, at the end of 30 minutes, everything's gonna turn out okay. Because in real life,
according to BoJack, is none of that. And neither is this show. BoJack Horseman is a show in which people are not always good, are not always likable, and do not always love each other. It's a show in which things are not okay at the end of 30 minutes, and it's a show that often painfully lacks closure. It's also a show about a talking horse.
Isn't it a pity? Now isn't it a shame?
This first episode primarily works to lay the show's groundwork, introducing several major plot threads. First, we meet Todd, who BoJack has been letting stay with him since his parents kicked him out 5 years earlier because of his alternative lifestyle.
I didn't realize by alternative lifestyle that you meant you were lazy.
He's also just been dumped by Princess Carolyn.
I have wasted so many dinners on you, BoJack Horseman.
Both of these relationships are further developed later in the series, but for now, they demonstrate how BoJack distances himself from the people around him. He treats Todd terribly, and he's afraid of commitment with Princess Carolyn. He wants people to like him, but he doesn't want people to know him. Maybe that's a result of the praise he received for horsing around. Praise he received for performing as a character. The praise wasn't for being BoJack, it was for being the horse from horsing around. That difficulty with sharing his true self is a pretty significant problem for someone trying to write a memoir. BoJack has been working on his memoir for the last year and a half, and so far has written a grand total of 1 chapter.
Chapter 1.
Title. So Pinky Penguin tries to set BoJack up with the ghostwriter, but he's resistant to the idea, because as much as he procrastinates writing, this book is important to him.
This book is my one shot at preserving my legacy. I'm a joke, and if this book isn't good, I'm gonna be a joke forever. Everyone thinks that I'm just this washed-up hack, but actually... Oh God. Actually, what if they're right? I can't breathe.
BoJack has an anxiety attack, after which he finally agrees to meet with the ghostwriter at Todd's party. So then we meet Diane. As BoJack's ghostwriter, her job is essentially to get to know him, and she certainly does a better job than her boyfriend.
How are you?
Well, I've been kind of up.
Living the dream, huh? Yeah.
Diane opens up about some of her own anxieties about parties, and BoJack begins to open up as well.
I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can't even be responsible for my own breakfast.
They seem at ease with each other pretty quickly, and the conversation leads to one of the questions that will plague BoJack throughout the course of the series.
What would make you happy?
Well, finishing my memoir, I guess.
Is that all? I can help you with that.
Yeah? I mean, would you even want to? You have to spend a lot of time with me.
This conversation is the most open we've seen BoJack in the episode, but he still isn't comfortable being truly known, and he tells Diane,
"But don't put all that stuff about how sad I am in the book."
The overarching theme of Season 1 comes down to the question, is BoJack good? Is BoJack a good person? And from this first episode, BoJack's anxiety about his memoir seems to suggest that he's worried about the answer. He has an anxiety attack thinking about how the world perceives him, and when he hires Diane to get to know him, he seems afraid of what she might find. There's a sentiment among some BoJack Horseman viewers that the show doesn't get good until about halfway through the first season. Early reviewers of the show received only the first 6 episodes, and the initial ratings were low as a result, with many critics considering the series to be just another mediocre adult animation with nothing new to say.
Not naming any names.
If that's how you feel after the first several episodes, keep watching. It gets great. And this is my least favorite episode of the series. The pacing feels off, much of the humor is unsuccessful, but I'd argue that there's still value in this first episode. Not only are there hints at some of the deeper themes later in the show,
it doesn't get easier. It never gets easier.
But it also comments on the nature of happiness from this very first episode. We see BoJack struggling with himself from the very first episode. If you're watching BoJack Horseman expecting a typical adult animation, that's what you'll find. All the elements are there. There's vomit and sex and rudeness. But beneath that, the show already has heart, and plenty to say. You just need to be open to it. And if you're not there yet, at least enjoy the animal jokes.
Whenever you're ready.
Because nay means no, but it's also a thing that horses say. It works on every level.